because it's messing up his yard and he's a
Yeah, of
boomer. You know
course.
what I mean? And I'm like, no, Dad, people will pay for this. No, we can use this to like stuff pillows or whatever. But again, when I look the tree up, the tree is native to Mexico. It don't even supposed to grow in West Virginia. And yet they have 100 to 200-year-old cotton
Oh,
tree
wow.
producing cotton still. Like, again, the math isn't mathing. So I was like, yeah, imagine now back into our time machine. Imagine it's, the 1870s and this is before the cotton gin or it is after the cotton gin. And so you have the days where you take the cotton the market to sell it or whatever. And so you have these, because most of the slaves in America were actually white. So you have all these white slaves that was out in the fields picking all this cotton and stuff. And then you have these Negroes roll up with big bags of cotton, big, and you're like, well, how'd you do that? They wouldn't tell them how they did it. Obviously, they wouldn't tell them. They would just say, hey, just give me my money, right? So they sold their cotton and they went about their business. And these white people think, oh, I need bigger fields. I need a more, what is that weird stuff they put in the soil and
Fertilizer?
fertilizer and all. No. It's a tree. You don't need more fertilizer. What you need to do is grow this cotton tree. And you have all the cotton you need.
Wow.
And it's like that with everything. There's a tree called the breadfruit tree, right? The breadfruit tree. So I also think that we didn't eat potatoes here in this country because there was no need for potatoes. Like there's literally no need for potatoes, even sweet potatoes. We would have used squash. I have the delicata squash. I made it yesterday. It tastes just like sweet potato. I could make a pie with it. No one would notice. It's just not quite as orange as a sweet potato, but they have white sweet potatoes, which are actually delicious. But because potatoes are actually not really good for you because the whole nightshade thing. It's a lot of stuff with the potatoes. So I don't think we grew potatoes. So I was like, well, how do we, or like, wheat, like we didn't use wheat the way that other, like in the Europe and whatever, we didn't need wheat because we had breadfruit trees. And so what a breadfruit is, it's a little spiky thing. It looks kind of like everybody's eating it now. I can't remember, but it's a little spiky fruit. And they grow a lot of them in Jamaica actually. That's where I had it from for the first time, was someone from someone who lived in Jamaica. So it's a little spiky fruit. It grows on a tree. One breadfruit tree can produce 450 pounds of breadfruit a year.
Whoa.
One tree. Okay. So you get it out the tree, you roast it like the whole thing, like you would do a squash. You roast the whole thing. Then you split it open and you take the pieces out. They're like little chunks. And it tastes exactly like bread. You fry it up. That's how I had mine. I had mine fried. You could powder it and use it to make pancakes mix and stuff like that. Anything you can do with flour, you can do with breadfruit. But it grows from a tree, so it doesn't have that whole wheat thing. You know how people are wheat intolerant, gluten free, and all this stuff. Yeah, this is a fruit that grows from a tree. You don't need that. And so kind of things that need to be reintroduced to this country. So when they came here, they cut the think of the story of Johnny Appleseed. This is another thing that I always thought about, right? Because they say what in that northeast area like Boston and Boston's in Massachusetts, but Maine, New Hampshire, all that, Vermont, all of that, right? They say they didn't really have access to enough clean water, which doesn't make any sense. So I believe it's a lie now. But I once read a statistics that said in the late 1800s, the number one beverage consumed was hard cider. Everybody drank hard cider, because when you ferment something, you get rid of the bad bacteria or whatever. And so that was one of the reasons was due to how many apple trees was going around. Now, how many apple trees do you see? They cut down all of the female trees that bear the fruit. So that's what Johnny Appleseed was doing. He was going around the country, whatever the country consisted of at that time, planting these seeds because he noticed they was cutting down all the trees. So another thing with the breadfruit, I'm sorry, this is important. with the breadfruit tree produces natural latex. And so if you build a boat from a breadfruit tree, like stump or whatever, basically you've got a waterproof boat, which is insane, like impossible. So you can produce this tree, you can let it bear fruit, and you can also tap it to get the latex out of it and make non-latex stuff. So they don't think people were advanced. That's not possible, because if I have a tree that can give me latex gloves so that I can dig around in the ochre and get the red ochre to make makeup or to make this or to dig and get gold or to doing, I have gloves now. Like that makes the society far more advanced than they can calculate. And since it's a natural product, when they go to do these excavations, they wouldn't find stuff like that. So now I think a lot of these archaeological digs and stuff like that, they're looking for the remains of stuff. But if things are natural, you're not going to find remains, because it's just going to disintegrate over time. It's not good. You don't need to make stuff that's going to last forever if you got it naturally from a tree that you had everywhere.
Yeah, so we're gonna have wooden cars soon. Disintegratable wooden cars.
Exactly. Why
Like
wouldn't
the
I have
Flintstones.
exactly?
Like the
I mean,
Flintstones.
they tried to make the Flintstones seem like it was primitive. No, no, no. They was fun. I used to love that show. I'd be like, this is the Stone Age. They was doing everything. They had chairs.
Uh-huh.
They had
Yeah.
cars. They had the exercise so the car moved with your feet. Look at these. I mean, little electronic bicycles. I also theorize that a lot of the technology, we probably did have advanced technology, especially on this land, but again, it was made of natural materials. Just like
Mm-hmm.
that bogosphere, what are they noticing? It is increasing in weight because it's lowering in density. When you have something that I've said a lot of times, they had tablets, right? But what if the tablets were actually like our iPads, but they were higher density? So that way, as they came down to lower density, all you were left with was, what looked like a clay tablet. But when it was in a high density, it was actually like this super high tech tablet. Like, that's entirely possible. These people don't know anything. That's what I know for sure. They don't know anything, and they lie about what they do know.
Yeah, it's been it's like the kids that have been cheating through school, and then now like reality really comes, and we see. So I think what is it like when the waves come, when the waves come, like we see
Right.
who's been swimming naked,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
I think I've heard that saying before. Jeez.
And it's interesting. This hurricane is Melissa, and immediately when I just realized that that's the name of the hurricane. Um, the Melissa that I know is Aphrodite, which is the bees.
Oh,
Melissae.
yeah, the
Melissae are
bees.
the
Yeah,
bees.
yeah.
And Melissae were the priestess of Aphrodite.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Boom. Okay.
So I looked at that, I'm like, this is Aphrodite. Like this hurricane has something to do with the Melissae, with the bees. Meanwhile, I've been feeding the bees arrived for the first time ever like a week ago in my
Wow.
porch. And they come with at least 100 plus bees. So I've been feeding the Melissae for the last like week and a half,
Wow. Look at that.
which is the bees,
Look at
because
that.
that's what the Melissae is. It's the bees.
Wow. And then here they are. It shows up in this storm. It's very interesting how all this stuff goes together. Like, it can be understated. That's another thing I said. You have to always confirm reality. Like, you can't pretend that what you're seeing with your eyes is not real. And that's what they're always trying to do. They're trying to get us to
Mm-hmm.
second guess what we are literally seeing and say, nah, you're not really seeing that. It's really something else. It's like, no, I know what I'm seeing. I'm looking right at it. you can't, manipulate me to make me think that what I'm seeing is not real and that I'm just supposed to buy your narrative, which is clearly not real.
Yeah, it's like they want us to think that we're just like an insect that
Right,
have like no influence, no power, nothing. It's just, you're
right,
just like a you're just an animal. Like you're just an animal. You're just there's
right.
nothing
No,
more than that. Like just do your work.
right, exactly. Go to work.
And anytime you
Um,
think of anything grand that is connected to you, everyone, literally everyone is like, "Oh, you're crazy," or "No, that's like you're not that powerful," or and it's not even like they're saying it necessarily directly. Like that's how they feel. If we were
right,
if people were to hear what we just talked about, they're like, "These people are insane." Like there's something wrong with these people.
yeah, I keep
Because
saying that. I've been saying this for 3 years. I'm glad people are starting to see it.
yeah, because they don't like people don't want to by negating and so what I see is by negating our powers, it is just them negating their own powers.
Right,
Because when they begin to say, "Hey, you know what? Like, let me entertain you. Let me actually like at least let me kind of act like you might be right."
right,
The moment they start doing that, they are now forced to elevate because immediately they're basically allowing the understanding that humans are like actually like immensely powerful.
right,
And if
exactly.
humans are immensely powerful, instantly their being is like, yeah, you're powerful too. Look at what you're doing. Nothing.
Right.
So these people they can't do that because that's just too it's too traumatic for them.
Yeah.
It's too traumatic that they're gonna have to completely transform and revamp their whole reality to align to this new reality that is yeah, hey, you're actually like immensely powerful.
I think that's I think that's where the social proof comes in. If once we get the social proof and the whole networking and all of that stuff like in place, it'll be it's hard to make the transition now because there's literally no social proof. There's no proof that what we're doing is effective. But as soon as I've been saying this for 3 years, as soon as there's proof and quantifiable social proof that what we're doing is effective, I don't think people will just change their life overnight. And that's a scripture too. Sharice keeps telling me it's a scripture too. People will change their lives overnight. They really will. It's not going to be as hard as you think. From the banker's perspective, let me put it this way: I don't think it's going to be as hard as you think. I think it would have been hard if we were trying to get people to change in the midst of the old structure. But since the old structure is completely collapsed, I think it's going to be much easier.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Yeah, there was no ability to do it from within the system, definitely. Well, I mean, definitely like the conversation that we just had with understanding like the whole bank, like you laying out the banking system in terms of how it would work and works energetically has helped me significantly because
Oh, good.
I was not able to like connect. I was not able to figure out like I knew there was something there, but I just did not know how it was gonna look. And and the fact that both, now the structure is way more clear as well as it allows us to now implement.
Right,
So as you said, one of the strategies is streamers,
right,
and then maybe now we also because we have the bank, right? The bank has
right,
like literally unlimited amounts of energy.
right,
Like there's so much, and what you're gonna do is very strategically to for the continued growth of the Holy Imperium is make it rain.
right.
You're just gonna make it rain,
We're gonna have a
and
good
so
time.
yeah, and so it's because so once we figure out, let's say, we choose streamers and then maybe like another group. Once we have a good understanding of how this works in terms of just the processes, then we do it for everything.
Right.
We and it's not about, oh, like, we're your agents now and we're gonna get in the
No, no,
middle,
no,
because
no.
all of that shit, like, they're gonna deal with that. They're the implementation, the all of that is gonna be dealt with on their side. Now, I do think, um, eventually we're going to have physical partners that handle all of that, in
Right.
terms of that they have the Hollywood studio, they have
Right.
the recording studios,
Right.
they have the properties. Like, there's going to be many of these ecosystems that are tied to the Holy Imperium, that have, like, the physical structures that benefit off of the energy that we are providing to the realm. But the beauty of what we're doing, and this is what I was always trying to figure out, because I knew that it was not going to be a very personnel heavy group at the top. Like, it was just not going to work. I just knew that it was not going to
Right.
be able to fully function if we have hundreds of people, thousands of people, in terms of that are managing the empire. But the only way to really do that is you have to do it energetically.
Right.
There is no other way, because when you're doing it energetically, you say, okay, these five streamers, as you said, we're giving them the credit. We're writing the credit, we're writing the piece of paper that says the banker, or, obviously whatever is figured out, provides the credit, the energetic credit, the street cred,
Right.
to these streamers. And every week, every month, we're just making sure that we're putting enough energy into that. I don't see how it cannot, these streamers won't blow up.
Oh, they
It's almost
will.
impossible.
They will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they will. It's not going to take, again, none of this takes much. The only thing that we do have to figure out is how to convert this stored energy into dollars. That is where I keep getting tripped up. And I don't know if that's just outside of my pay grade, or if that's something that has been siphoned off of me, and that's why I don't quite know how to do that. But that would be the missing piece. Like, how do you take this energy that's been stored, like all of this, like limitless energy, limitless potential, and turn it into um, spendable dollars? And I feel like once I have an understanding of that part of it, then things will really start to take off. But that's where I'm stuck, because I have lots of energy I've stored up in different ways, in people, in products, in projects, in all kinds of different places. Because I'm sort of I'm gonna do a little here and a little there, and that's the kind of way that I handle things. So that's been the ongoing issue. Is like, how do you convert this energy into dollars? And I haven't really gotten a really good, like, answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, well, so I think the question is, how are the dollars going to be converted into the energy? Now, obviously, like, because so what's going to happen is, like, we have the resources now. Obviously, in the current system that we're living in, it's still the dollar, it's still the fiat, it's still the paper.
Right.
But, like, in in we are living in the past, present, and future. In the present moment, we're living in the past, present, and future. So we're already living in the reality where you are the banker, you're the central bank of the Holy Imperium. So the the question, in really, for you, is, how are all these dollars going to get into the empire? Like, how is the fiat going to
Mm.
convert
There we
into the
go.
energy, and not the other way
Right.
around? Because where the money,
Okay.
where the flow of energy is going, is into the empire. So if all these
Right.
billions of dollars hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars are now going to flood into the Holy Imperium. How does the banker manage that? What does that even look like?
Right.
So, and then, but answering your question, is as these streamers, for example, with the streaming example, as these streamers begin to become immensely successful, we have direct access to them. So we can help them with brand deals. So this is where now, as I said earlier, is now you have these like physical organizations that have the credit of the banker that are going to support the streamer in terms
Right.
of getting partnership deals, streaming deals, advertisers, agents, being put on all these different magazines. And all of that, percentages are going back to the empire, to the bank in terms of the dollars. Now, obviously, like initially, there's nothing is really, at least initially, is written on paper, any of that. But essentially, when you have this energetic investment in these people, it's almost like magically the money just starts to like there's so many
Right.
opportunities that start to go towards
Right.
you that just the money just appears.
Right. But I think like more specifically like what I'm thinking about is when you look at how these quote unquote bankers got their start, like where they started from. They all started from some kind of initial investment. Like there was always a seed fund that was the like I described about the whole George Soros thing. They had money in the bank that they used to get credit to fund all these other smaller organizations. It's like we need that seed funding that will be used to extend the credit. And so that's, I mean, I've been working on that. That's literally what I've been working on, but that's where to me the breakdown is right now. Like again, you can't even begin to have social proof if you don't have money in the bank. Like
Yeah, okay,
when you have money, you
the
know what
thing
I
is
mean?
we have that with the hyperstructure. Like we have the money and that's the energy. Now, obviously, we don't have the money, the material money. We have the energy, which is the energy that has been accumulating there for for a long, long time. We have the ability to give credit. If we go to a streamer right now, we don't even have to tell the streamer that we're doing it. We can literally go to a streamer and basically give them credit and they're going to blow up.
Right.
How much money would it take us? How much time, how much effort would it take us to do that same thing in the fiat system? It would be too much money. It would, I mean, it would be too much for like too much of a big endeavor for us to do all of that, right? So
I
then,
don't necessarily think so. I mean, maybe because I've already structured it out, I don't think so. But I don't.
well,
I don't
but
know.
notice what we're doing energetically, and then equate that to how much money it would take for us to actually build out the mechanisms, the infrastructure to get it done fiat wise. It's too much. It's not even like it's priceless. There's no amount of money
Right.
like with
Right.
something
That's
like
true.
the hurricane with Jamaica. Like
Right. There's no amount of
energetically,
money. Yeah.
energetically, you literally said we're gonna move it here. How much? How is there even any amount of money that could do that? There
No.
isn't. There isn't. So,
Mm-mm.
going back to like we have with the hyperstructure, we have the bank, like we have the money, we have the energy, and that's something that I stumbled upon. But as I looked back in all the investments that I made with all these narratives, I realized, holy shit, I just accumulated a fuck ton of energy. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Oh well, but this energy now, this basically this power now, whatever I put into reality, it happens. It
Right.
just happens. Now, of course, instead of waiting years, now it's happening almost instantly.
Right.
These people don't have any of that. These billionaires,
Right.
to get anything done, they got to put
They,
up at least 100 mil now, and
right.
with
Yeah.
inflation, probably a bill.
Yeah.
So it's very important for us to like. And the thing is, this is the I think this is where you're getting tripped up, is that it's like, it's because it's not visible in the bank, it's difficult to conceptualize just how much money you have at your disposal. And I think when we start to move on the energy side, the opportunities are going to show up that are going to provide you with the physical money uh in your reality. But like, the thing is, it's going to be so instant, like it's going to be so sudden that where you are now to where you are in 5 years is going to be night and day. But the thing is, it's because of your position that you have in the energetic realm. That's
Right.
where basically everybody's net worth, and like what people would call financial worth, is becoming, is the energy. And this is why these billionaires out here don't know what the fuck they're doing, because their value was tied to their money. But now that the value is being removed from money and now going into this like ethereal energy thing, they don't, they're trying to figure out who's the one in charge, who's got the credit. They're
Right.
looking for you. That's who they're looking
Right.
for. They're looking
Right.
for the banker
They
that's
need
going to
me to
give them the
sign
credit.
off. They need
Right.
me to
So
sign off.
obviously, how much are they going to give you? Like, but because God is so brilliant, if he gave money just like that right now, instantly, you know how many snakes would join us right now? How many wicked people would try to slither their way in? So God is like, no, we're gonna keep you there. But have faith. Have faith that what is coming is more than you could even comprehend.
Right.
Where these billionaires are literally, as you said, on their fucking knees.
Right.
Please give me credit. Please.
Right.
Please,
Right.
like, please, like, what do I need to do? But to get there, we have to know who the fuck we have around us.
Right.
Because
Well, the
people are
round
gonna come up
table.
and be like, hey, let me buy you a house, or hey, let me give you some cash money, and try to buy their way into the banker. So right now, the banker has to basically uh you know live in the humble way that the banker is being forced to live, even though it has all this money. And that's where it's like, it's a mind fuck. It's an
Right.
absolute mind fuck, because it's like, you, but like this is, it's like, this is the initiation. This is the
Right.
initiation, because the banker has to know what it's like to have nothing. The banker has
Right.
to have been able to do with nothing, so
Right.
that when it has everything, it doesn't get lost. It doesn't
Right.
break
That's
down.
true.
It doesn't deviate from the plan.
Right.
And I mean, we've all in the current, the ones that are part of the initial Holy Emperium, we've had to go through a lot
Right.
to show God that we truly are the ones. And
Right.
that's why all these people out here looking from the sidelines, looking from the outside, trying to figure out how to get in, because they're realizing, holy shit, this, whatever they're doing, is about to be massive. And even
Right.
if they're not looking in, it's because they're just working 24/7 trying to negate, because it's getting so intense now. It's getting so
Right.
intense that they're like they're going schizophrenic now, trying to negate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And good,
Yeah.
good, get schizophrenic, wicked scum.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's what you do. It's what they.
So
It's only
this is,
what they've been doing to us. You
yeah,
know.
and so this is like the final, mile. And this is where essentially, like, it's like, enjoy where you're at, because it's ending real soon. And when
Right.
you look back, you're going to look at these times with immense fondness. It might not feel like it, right, when you're in it, but when you always look back and you got the jewels, you got the power, you're going to look back and say, wow. like like with such beautiful fondness of the fact that people didn't believe.
Right.
People talk shit. People were literally dancing on our
Right.
graves.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
so at the final mile, let's show them. Let's let them dance.
Right.
Let's let them think that even though they're under experiencing immense suffering, let them think that at least they beat us.
Right.
So
Well, that's what happened with Noah.
when the
That's
switch flips, it's
phew,
just
it's over.
boom, just the whiplash. The whiplash
Yeah.
is going to be something that instantly wakes them up and they run to you.
Right. Right. That I was just saying that's what happened with Noah. He was telling for 120 years to repent, to get away from their wickedness. And they was watching him build that boat and they was still laughing at him all the way until it started to rain. And then it was too late. But I guess my only issue with that, like as a theory, is that it's still, maybe, I don't know if it's like it's too, I just don't want people to suffer unnecessarily. Let me put it that way. So I don't like the concept of people having to experience stuff to learn a lesson. Like I feel like that as a that as a must has to be like not necessarily eliminated, but it just has to be minimized, because when you have that as an option, right? People can go overboard with that and people can manipulate other people with that thought process. So I don't know how to balance that out, because that's part of this whole banking part is too, because you have to inflict enough pain on somebody, i.e. interest rates, to get them to repay the loan. But um there's a point where it goes from pain to usury, and you have to really just be able to walk that fine line. So there's a story in Nehemiah where the people were experiencing a famine, and in order to get through the famine, they sold their houses, they sold their vineyards, they sold their gardens, and when they had sold all of that, then they started to sell their children so they could get food. And so the people who are buying all this stuff for them, they call them the Jews in the Bible. So that's what I'm going to use. That's the pejorative that they use. The Jews, these elitists, were buying up all of this stuff from these people. And Nehemiah heard about it. He got really, really upset. I talked about this when we talked about Vagolia in the beginning, like a few weeks ago. Nehemiah got really, really upset. And basically, he went to these elites and he told them, you're going to give them back their vineyards, you're going to give them back their gardens, you're going to give them back their children, and you're going to give them the new wine, and you're going to give them a tenth. And they just agreed. I mean, it wasn't even a discussion. They just agreed, okay, whatever you say, we're going to do it. Then Nehemiah went to the priest and he told the priest, you're going to make sure that they do this. And the priests were like, okay. And Nehemiah wasn't a priest, he wasn't a king, he wasn't a prophet. He was a layman. And he was able to get, just trying to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And literally, these people, whatever it was, they were so scared of it, they just did it. And that's what I asked a few weeks ago. What was that they were so scared of? When Nehemiah said, give them back their stuff, they just did.
Yeah, right. Because so the incentive, there was an incentive. The incentive was so big that they literally had to give it back.
Right,
And as you said, like I guess the point of that story is to keep it open ended in terms of, well, what is that? But and I think your responsibility as the banker is, we don't want people to suffer. This is not
right,
about like, we're gonna make you suffer and until you like join us. But it's the responsibility of the banker is to build the incentives in a way where where you basically decide how much suffering you want to inflict in the reality based
right,
on your infrastructure. Because if your infrastructure, the incentives of your banking infrastructure is insanely high, well, everyone's going to be incentivized to join. Everyone's going to be
Right.
incentivized to put their money in the bank. Everyone's going to be incentivized to use the bank. If the
Right.
incentives are not at the highest level, there is going to be suffering for sure, because they're going to put their money in other banks and they're going to
Right.
lose it all.
Right.
They're going to lose their
Well, yeah,
shirts.
that's
That's what
not
they've
me.
done.
Yeah, that's not what
That's
me.
what
That's
they've
not
done.
us inflicting the suffering. That's not us inflicting the suffering. You're right.
No, we never inflict suffering. Well, okay.
Not never.
The Holy Imperium is not in the business of inflicting suffering unless there's a reason for it, in terms
Right.
of attacking us, or like self-defense type of situations. But this world basically is in an anarchy. So
Right.
outside of our walls is chaos. Outside of our
Right.
walls is just basically, at this point with the collapse, endless suffering, because they are all now realizing the difference between good and bad, right and wrong, alignment and misalignment. The Holy Imperium is in alignment, and we're going to continue to move towards alignment, whether people want to follow us or bank with us or not. We're
Right.
going to keep moving towards alignment. Those that refuse to follow us are moving towards misalignment. And so
Right.
the more that we do the work to get in alignment and to stay in alignment, the more suffering they experience, because they're not following the will of God. And the thing is, there wasn't a way before. That's the thing, is there was not a way, so everyone was
Right.
just like together. So we just had to live in this system. Now that there is a way, and obviously the banker is creating the incentives where you can't refuse. It's an offer you can't refuse. But if you refuse it, that's okay. Go over there, keep suffering. Keep
Right.
being stuck in those low vibrational dense energies that come with negating God.
Right. Right.
And so the suffering is going to intensify. I mean, it's only going to get worse, because some people just, it's like it must be the programming. Like, they have to, well, okay, it's it's partly that they have to go through suffering to eventually like wake up. But I think also it's like it's like it's like a building initiation process. And it goes back to
Right.
something like, if if we if we don't know the value of, let's say, food, if we don't appreciate the food that we're provided for every single day, the only way we're going to get a level of appreciation that is necessary to appreciate the food is going hungry.
Right.
And
Right.
the depths of that hunger is basically going to determine how appreciative we are of food in the future when it shows up. And so when the food comes, we're not going to waste it. We're not going to take advantage of it. We're going to appreciate it. We're going to cherish it. We're going to embrace it and love it. So a lot of the people out there, the masses, humanity, have to experience very intense levels of suffering to, when they are saved, when they do see the light, they know how to manage it. They know how to handle it. I mean,
Right.
look at us, how much suffering we had to endure. Like, I would not go back and change any suffering that I had to go through, because I literally, like, if I did not go through that type of suffering, I would not be able to manage where I'm at. Like, I would
Right.
not
That's
be able
true.
to manage the energetic intensity of what's going on. And now it's effortless. I don't like, it's I've been hit down, I've been put down so many times that I'm unstoppable now.
Right.
There's nothing is slowing me down.
Right.
It doesn't matter if I have or if I don't have. I know where I'm at. And in large part, that is because of how much suffering I've endured. And so I agree with you in terms of the, like, we're not here to purposefully or try to worsen the suffering of others. That's not the point of the
Right.
Holy Imperium. Especially those under our protection are protected, are empowered, are nourished, are loved. Um, but at the same time, is the suffering out there is going to continue to intensify. And as a result of that, um, I mean, basically, we're just taking advantage of a crisis. This is a
Right.
crisis.
Yeah.
This is a
Never let
humanity
a
is in a
good Christ.
crisis. Humanity is in a
Never let.
crisis, and here we are positioning ourselves to be basically the saviors.
Yeah. Never let a good crisis go to waste. That is literally like the Hillary Clinton mantra, like motto. Literally, never let a good crisis go to waste. This is what these people always look at this thing in Jamaica. They were planning on, taking advantage of this, and it's not going to work out for them.
And something that I realized maybe earlier this year, because earlier this year is when I began to embrace what I call the dark, is like it's I it's like they don't what I've noticed, at least in my reality, is they in terms of I think reality or the system, they started taking me seriously when I started to scare them.
Right.
When I started to show my things, when I started to show them what I'm capable of, when I started to really embrace the dark, that's when they started to get spooked and they said, "Oh shit.
Right.
What's going on here? I gotta be careful with what I'm doing because right, it's been lawless. This reality
Right.
has been lawless. Who's gonna
Right.
bring down the law? Who's gonna spank some asses? Who's gonna, as they say,
Right.
belt to ass?
Yeah.
No, no
Belt to
one,
ass. Yeah.
no one's fucking taking care of the wicked. No one's. Everyone is just like, oh, we'll just keep just surviving. So what I
Right.
basically had to do, and that's like the demon king side of it all, is well, no one wants to beat these motherfuckers up. Nobody wants to put these motherfuckers in their place. Everyone's just like, oh, it's okay, whatever. No, 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 no. Like, I guess I have to do it. I have to be the bad guy. I have to be, if that means I accumulate all this intense amount of karma, I don't care. Because the thing is, we, it's about incentives. If the bad guys are incentivized to keep being bad, well, guess what? They're going to keep being bad. And if the good guys keep being incentivized or keep being hit over the head for being good, how many more good people are we going to lose? And so, what we're doing with the Holy Imperium is incentivizing serving God, is making an offer that humanity cannot refuse. And then on the other side, I am here with the being the demon king with the stick, just fucking whacking motherfuckers.
Right.
Just whacking
Exactly.
them. I'm not telling them, hey,
Exactly.
you gotta go join the Holy Imperium, but I'm making it very known. You keep being wicked and misaligned, and I'ma keep thwacking you guys.
Right. Like this is not working out. This is not going to work out for you. No matter what way you slice it, you're going to end up with the short end of the stick.
So it's kind of like I'm Batman, In the
Yeah.
day, I am Bruce Wayne, and at night, I'm Batman.
Right.
So, I am
Right.
overall, I am the Holy Emperor, and I move with love. I move with peace. I move in a high vibrational way. But at night, it's like I gotta be the fucking bad guy. I gotta, and
Right.
it's not like I'm not here. I don't care to attack, people that have done me wrong. Like I'm not here to like mete out punishment to people that have done me wrong in my reality. I'm taking out the people at the top. I'm taking out
Right.
the structures at the top
Right.
that I am told to take out. I'm not just, waking up saying, okay, I'm going to take this person out, that person out. No, when God, whatever God tells me to do, I do. And when I began to embrace the dark, God was like, pop your shit. I
Right.
was like, you ain't flexing enough. You're not like
Right.
he was basically telling me, bro, you being too timid. What is wrong with you? You see what's going on out there, and you're just gonna play, goody unconditional love boy. Like, no, go
Right.
beat them up. And what he said was not only beat them up, he said, I will let you know when you're going too far. And every single time I've
Mm.
tried to slow down, he shakes me and says, "What? Stop! Stop being so timid."
Right.
Because
Right.
because for me, like I am here to serve him absolutely. I'm not interested in doing something that goes against him. I don't there's zero interest in me going against his will. So
Right.
I was out here, especially the last year since I started to talk with him, I was out here trying to just follow what I thought is best to serve him. You
Right.
know, being a good boy, and obviously anything he tells me to do, I'm doing immediately. And then he's telling me embrace the dark. Okay, so I embrace the dark. Okay, now I have all this like dark power. Basically, this like this the bloodlust comes out in just random ways, but I'm controlling it because obviously I'm here to be a good boy to daddy, to the Lord, to God. And
Right.
then he's basically being like, yo, stop being such a little bitch.
Right.
But I'm like, but I don't want to overstep my boundaries. I don't, I don't want to show you like I just want to be the very best for you, God. And
Right.
he's out here telling me, okay, then show me, but stop being so timid.
Right.
Stop doing this whole like just being nice. And this is where there was a huge shock where I realized like, holy shit, I gotta lay down the law on these motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And I'm
mean,
still learning what that even means because I'm still like I'm good. I'm like it's it's not that I'm doing things that are bad, but it's like I don't want I was not interested in having that responsibility. I was
right.
not interested in having to put people in their fucking place. I thought just through love
Oh
everything would
no.
work out.
That's why Jesus went in the he went in one time he went in the temple, they was buying and selling. He didn't overturn the tables. But another time he went in there, they was doing their usury and he effed that whole place up. So yeah, it's all about the context. When you it's nothing wrong with buying and selling. The problem is when you introduce that usury. That's what these people have done. Energetic usury. They have literally
Mm.
used people, charged, taken everything. Look at this. I mean, what did I say in Nehemiah? They took their houses, they took their fields, they took their vineyards, then they started taking their children. Is that not America? They took
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
there's a song, and in the song that says the man won't let you have a house without a loan. So they took your house, they took your vineyard, and they actually turned it into another house and sold it to someone else. They took your field and took it and sold it to someone else as another house. Now they took the children and said, "No, these are our kids. You're not. You know, it takes a village to raise a child, but not you. Anyone else but you." Like, yeah, they took everything, and so yeah, we need a Nehemiah to get in there as a layman and say, "I'm not the priest. I'm not the king." But what I am is somebody who's not going to allow you guys to engage in this usury. And in that story, it specifically used the term usury. So
Mm.
literally, this is usury what they're doing, the energetic usury. So yeah, you do have to F them up. Whatever it is, it scared them so much, they returned everything
Yeah,
without
right.
there was no conversation. He said, "You're going to return all this stuff." And they said, "Okay." He
And
told
I
the
think
priest.
that's what we're gonna see. That's what we're seeing, and that's what we're going
Mm,
to see in terms of and I'm doing it. Like whatever I am told and feel compelled to do, like I'm fucking people up. And it's not individuals, but like I'm fucking those that keep the system going in this way because this is just not it's not acceptable. It's done. It ends, but it's we're not going to convince these people with
no.
being nice.
Mm-mm.
And what I've been told is it's the season to be nice is over.
Right.
Like because if I stay being nice, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not
Exactly.
like I mean, it's the whole system has collapsed literally the last like 6 months.
Right. Yeah.
It's been I mean before then, even when Trump got into office, it seemed like everything was fine and dandy.
Right. Well, I told you what happened. We was like, wait, we were supposed to get checks right away. Like, this not supposed to be taking this long. And my friend and I removed our energy. We've
Mm.
literally removed our energy. We used our energy to make sure that whole election thing didn't put Kamala in because of the whole tragedy that would have caused. But then when we noticed that they were still now they're starting to slow walk stuff that we knew they needed to do, that's when there was a problem. Imagine, so I've been going over this in my mind too. Imagine if they had given people the Doge money 6 months ago. Some people would have taken that money and invested it and started businesses and all this stuff. So now you're getting to the government shutdown time. People would have had some money. They wouldn't have necessarily spent every penny. They would have done something productive with it. And so now you're getting to this government shutdown and people don't have anything. They already didn't have anything. Now they're going to have even less. It's going to be even more stress and even more trouble after the total weaponization of every single department in the federal government against regular people. So it was a huge mistake for them not to do what Elon said and give out the money much sooner. It's a huge mistake for them not to just ignore everybody and get the job done. So look, Trump has been a nice guy, right? In all of this, look what it's gotten him. This country is falling apart, and they can, put the big business band-aids over everything all they want, but that's not going to stop the collapse that's going to come pretty soon. This holiday season is going to be a tragedy for these big
Yeah, yeah,
businesses.
and this is the chaos. I mean, it's the chaos is only going to intensify, and the crisis is only going to intensify, and
Right,
like we have been we are positioning ourselves, and we have been positioning ourselves for who know thousands of years
right,
probably,
right,
because this isn't just like for the last few years. It's like we've been positioning ourselves the last few thousands of years to get to a point where, like, this is a tragedy. It's a
right,
tragedy what has been allowed to take place for all these hundreds of years that led to this moment. It's a tragedy that, like, I mean, the whole system, it's just so fucked up. It's so beyond repair at this point. Even when they reopen, like, it's just the whole thing has got to go. I don't know what that looks like in terms of when it has to go, but we're seeing it. We're
right,
seeing it. We're
right,
seeing things breaking down. And obviously, as people begin to have no money, they start to have no food. So they're starting to go hungry. So now there's going to be food riots. Like, the food riots are coming. They're for sure coming.
oh
That there's a
yeah,
reason. There's a reason again why Trump keeps talking about sending the National Guard to all these large cities. Sure, yeah, they say it's for the illegal immigrants. No, they know that the food riots are coming.
right,
They know that people don't have the money for food. I mean, and so it's gonna get so bad that people, where are people gonna go? Well,
right,
the Holy Emperium. That's what we're here to do. That's what we are here for. To bring those, anyone is able to come, but like the suffering has to be
right,
so intense that they take us seriously. That's it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, but they're so entrenched. Everybody's so entrenched in that system, whether they hate it or they don't hate it. They're so entrenched in that system that only literal hell is going to get them unglued and
right,
then take seriously serving God.
right, right. It's gonna shake them
So
free.
what I'm doing is basically, just adding, with being the Demon King, just go more gas. Yeah, more gas. Let's go.
Right.
I mean, that's what I think it was no, no, I think it was Kissinger maybe that said, you fix a problem by making it worse.
Yeah. You got to break some stuff in order to fix it.
Right?
I've heard
Because
people say
because
that.
if the problem is semi-fixable, no one's gonna listen to us.
Right.
Because they're like, oh well, no, we'll just keep doing our bullshit misaligned solution. Hey, it might not work, it might not be the best, but like, we don't trust you guys. What so
Right.
they will only trust us and follow us when the problem is so bad that they're like, oh, let's listen to the weirdos. Let's listen to those crazy people. Now, obviously, they're not going to say that when it comes to us, but like, they're going to resort to us as literally the final thing that they do, because they cannot stand serving us. They cannot stand to be on their knees serving us. But you know why people like Bill Gates are coming around? Because they're elites. That's how elites
Right.
move. Elites know how to serve.
Mm.
Elites know
Right.
who to get on their knees for and support, because that's how they were made into that's what an elite is.
Right.
Elites are the best at serving, and
Right.
they're serving us. So obviously, there's a reason why these elite are elite, because they understand who to serve. Meanwhile, everyone else thinks that they serve themselves. They think that they're this guy. They think that they're that woman. Well, okay,
Right.
go over there, keep suffering, make it worse, this, that. We'll be over here, continue to build our empire as the elite literally begin to surround us.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. The only way you get in that position is you're really the best servant there is.
Yeah, uh
Mm-mm-mm.
huh. Now they
So
serve
maybe we should be
us.
asking where are our servants?
Where are servants?
Where are our servants? Like, they're the best servant. Where are our servants? Like, if we're the new elite, if we're the new 13 families or what, where are our servants at? Like, where are they?
Well, I mean, but look at climate change. He just did a 180 on climate change. That is
Right.
huge,
Yeah, but it's
huge.
still, but like I said, it's still cleaving with pride because a 180 on climate change is not the solution to the problem.
Yeah, of course,
Because you've
but
already
it's a good
like
start. It's a good start.
your standards are lower than mine. It's not a good start because you've ruined millions of people's lives and totally poison their brains to how the climate actually works. So no, just you changing your mind and make it is to me that's not well. I see what this is what God is telling you. That little thing ain't nothing. That's called cleaving with pride. That is still nothing but pride because he didn't claim any responsibility for his part in poisoning the minds of these millions of people who now believe every time it rains, every time it snows, it's climate change. So no, that's not good. To me, I mean, I'm the hard ass. That's not good enough.
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
to
but
see it.
it's a first. It's I think it's a first. It's for me. It's a sign that he realizes there's a change of guard, and he's just trying to figure out. Okay, let me like start backtracking. Why is the Bezos woman keeps giving money to these HBCUs?
They're trying to buy black, but listen.
They're turning around. They're turning
Yeah, but that's
around.
not okay.
But you have
These
to
people,
realize to turn the Titanic, they can't just do a 180 just instantly.
no,
Like it's a whole freaking
okay,
mechanism to move the Titanic from hitting the iceberg, which is where they're headed, to actually like going past it.
but listen, these people have astrologers, they have witch doctors, they've got all types of people on their team. We're not talking about people who don't know what's going on energetically. This energetically did not just get started. From the astrology, this has all the if you watch any astrologer, they have been saying since Uranus entered 7 years ago, I guess, when Uranus entered Taurus, because now Uranus has retrograded back into Taurus. Since Uranus entered Taurus, they have predicted what was going to happen when Uranus entered Gemini. That was 7 years ago. Like they always knew this time with Saturn and Neptune are moving together like literally at the same degree into Aries the beginning of next year. They knew this was coming for at least 20 years. They waited until the last minute to try to squeeze whatever bit of clout and energy they could, again, usury out of the people, and they're waiting in the last 5 minutes to ride the wave of energy into the next cycle. That is unacceptable. You don't, if you really wanted to change, you would have, see, because they, again, don't forget, these people are used to being able to jump timelines. Their plan was to just jump to another timeline. Now they realize that they're stuck. So no, when you if your company is failing, okay, so I just if your company is failing, you don't just trim the fat around the edges to try to save it. That's not what you do. This is not the government. I expect that kind of behavior from government officials. We're talking about business people. Businesses don't if look at Meta did. Meta's AI was what failing. They just cut the whole department after they went and poached all these people for millions of dollars from OpenAI and all these places. They realized that their AI was some shit, and so they just cut the whole program. Like, no, that's not how these people work. It's only people who don't understand like the very intricate details of these big businesses that would find that as a um acceptable. But because I know that they've been skimming the books, all this stuff forever, no, it's just a little climate change is not really what we said it is. Nah, because if it was an emergency to them, they would be doing something different. They would be taking a more. So what I want to see, if they really believe that narrative is falling apart, I want them to start behaving erratically. Bill Gates making a speech is not erratic behavior. Erratic behavior is firing 30,000 people in a day. That's erratic behavior. Like
The companies are doing that. That's what the
they
companies.
are, but I'm talking about Bill Gates. He is the
Well, but the
one
thing is, Bill
who.
Gates hasn't been a businessman, like in terms of actually running a business in, I mean, at least what, 20 years? Like he's been gone from Microsoft. What is he now? He's a politician. I mean,
Okay,
he
but
has a ton of
oh,
money
I see
and
what
he
you're
just
saying.
manages these NGOs, manages these charities, Soros. He's like a Soros guy now, where
Right.
he's just like I guess a mastermind and to orchestrate all these different narratives. So for him to like go from being so gung ho about climate change, like that was a core narrative of his, to now kind of backtrack in this light to start as a beginning, as a kind of like, it's like he's beginning to wave the surrender flag slowly. Now, of course, it's only going to get worse in terms of he's only going to be backtracking faster and faster, because what he's essentially, at least for me, it was a nod to say, okay, I understand that like there's someone new in town, and the someone new in town is not going to allow climate change to be a thing. So let me start like backtracking from it. And
Mm,
just the backtracked, I sniffed it. I smelt it.
right.
But it's a big thing, but as you said, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's not like it's he hasn't, there's still so much more that he has to do. But the fact that it was climate change, it was Bill Gates, and it happened today,
Right.
that
On the day of this storm, when they would normally be pushing the opposite narrative. No, I get
oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They would normally use
right.
this storm to push the
Yes.
opposite. I wasn't looking at him like a business person. I mean, as a politician. So yes, as a politician, and I said that. I said, yeah, if he was a politician, I would
Right,
be
right.
but I hadn't thought of him as a politician. But you're right, he is a politician. So no, I guess this is acceptable. I mean, I guess everything is on track. I'm just too hard. I'm like,
And
I
it's
want
good. It's good. Well, you're the
to.
banker. You're the
Yeah.
banker, right? We have to have a hard ass as the banker. We
Right.
can't have no, oh, you're a friend. Okay, here's some energy. Oh, you're this. Okay, here's some money. No, no, no. The banker handles the books. So,
Right.
and the thing is, but this is how the banker's supposed to be, right?
Right.
What Bill Gates has to do to get credit from you, as you shown, is going to be a lot,
Yeah.
and that's how it's supposed to be. It's not, and obviously, as you could see, like for me, I am very open to rehabilitation. I could see the strengths, I could see the benefit in literally anyone, right? And anyone, I am more than willing to overlook everything Bill Gates has done, so long as he properly gets on his knees and serves. Because
Right.
I know that I'd rather have him on his knees serving the Holy Imperium than like doing whatever, like basically being a, like right now, what matters, at least from what I'm seeing, is like I demand the best servants there are. And if
Right.
that means that it's people like a Bill Gates, okay, clean your shit up, figure your shit out and come and serve. Because if I can have Bill Gates serving me, now, does that mean that he's absolved of all his sins and all that? No, that's between him and God.
Right. Yeah. We
I'm
don't.
not,
We ain't getting involved in that.
I'm not getting involved in that. But if he is a valuable asset and can be a valuable asset to the Holy Imperium, and he serves us well, go run wild, serve, be a good servant. Because
Right.
I'd rather him serving us than him doing who knows what the fuck he might be doing. But the thing is, the funny thing is, there is no other big player. It's us.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. So it's like, if in order to be relevant in the new reality, it's with us. That's
Right.
what is going on. So obviously, anyone that wants any sort of relevance, they can't escape us.
No.
You want to be irrelevant? Okay, go over there. Go over there because the energy's here.
Right. Yeah. No, you gotta, you don't have a choice. No, we sealed the exits. I mean, that's pretty well, we sealed the exits. There's no getting out of doing the right thing. There's none of that. Oh, we're just gonna, it's not gonna work. And the harder they try, the worse off it's gonna be for them. So, um, wow, this is pretty
Yeah, it's a lot.
much. Yeah, this is very
Yeah, yeah,
definitely a
yeah.
lot.
But I mean, for you, as you said, like the hurricane, yeah. I mean, wow. What are the odds? What are
Right.
the odds that the hurricane
Exactly.
is here? And like, I mean, it was energetically, it was, yeah, it was a perfect moment to be like climate change, and to have it not be that, from literally the mouthpiece of it,
Right.
is like, wow. Okay. So like, what's next then? What are you guys, so it's going to be interesting to see how the elite now start to move, because there's so much going on.
Right.
There's potential war. I mean, there's war happening in Europe. Like, basically at this point, the economy is like, who knows what the fuck is going on with the economy. I
Right.
mean, there's so much happening. And as you said, there is no priest, there is no king, there is no, what was the third one?
Um uh,
Priest, king,
the priest
and
and the king is the main ones. There's no banker. There's no
no
priest.
banker. Yeah,
There's no
yes.
king.
Uh-huh.
There's no banker.
So there's no one to help absolve their, or for, their sins,
Right?
basically manage their sins. That's the priest. No one to basically tell them what to do, or to be protected under. That's the king.
Right.
And nobody to fund them. Nobody to give them energy.
Right.
That's the banker.
Right. Like they're totally out of, I don't know. I don't know what they do from here. Like I don't, but yeah, I guess from what you're saying, it does make more sense. Their behavior is in context. Before it wasn't. Now this is the context. They have to get, because a lot of these jobs and stuff, just as an aside, they're not actually firing people because there weren't people working those jobs. Those were people stealing money from the company. They weren't
Yes.
real people.
Right,
So
right.
now they're illegals. And so they're like, okay, I guess we better stop playing this game because we're not going to be able
Ah.
to play this game much longer. So they weren't actually real people, or they were people who were here illegally. And now they're just cleaning up their books. Because remember, see, because actually, this is even worse. Because I just thought about that, they're not putting out job report numbers. So that means if they like fire all these people, it's not going to mess up the reports. So did these jobs even exist in the first place? Or were these jobs that Biden made them report so that they could have increased job numbers every month? Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I mean, that
Oh
wouldn't
my
be surprising.
goodness. This is just awful. It's like they're not even
Well,
really.
but and on top of that, like, even just energetically speaking, when one is part of the old system, like, they would have all these, basically these bots
Right,
working for them.
right,
Because they were able to use these bots to basically impose its misalignment upon reality. But now that, like, the regime change is here, like, everyone has to get into alignment. So all these
right,
companies are like, okay, we can't have these bots anymore. We got to have high vibrational people. We got to have like, people that are actually smart,
right,
people that are actually forward thinkers, people that are actually like innovating.
right.
And this is, innovation as simple as like removing like high fructose corn syrup. I mean, something so fucking
Oh, not
basic,
even that.
something so
Elon
basic.
just announced that they fixed the algorithm. So when you finally go to your For You page, you'll actually see people you follow.
Wow.
This has been messed up for at least 3 years because I follow somebody who has been complaining about this for 3 years. Like, you want to go to your For You page, you're not even
Mm.
seeing people you follow. And Elon just announced they fixed this bug where your For You page was a bunch full of a you didn't follow. And now all of a sudden your For You page is going to be actually full of people you follow. So they are doing this. I mean, I guess I got to learn to look at the right inputs because there's a lot of inputs, and I'm always looking at the ones that directly correlate to a physical return. But as the banker, I'm supposed to be looking at that. I just
Yes,
still have to
both.
keep,
Yeah, both.
yeah, I have to
Looking at
keep in
both is
mind the
very
other
important,
stuff.
but it's
Yeah,
also like, and like it's n- I mean, to be the banker is an like insane position. So just to get into whatever that means is going to take time. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to process what it means to be the banker of the Holy Imperium, because this what we're building has been built and is being built energetically, and now it's beginning to seep into the physical reality. And so uh in being the banker, I think the main thing to really embrace and become aware of is the fact that you hold the purse strings of basically an unlimited amount of wealth
right,
for the empire. And so
right,
in embracing that, like, obviously it's not instantly going to reflect financially on paper, but when you really embrace that, as you said with the data points, you start to see the data points. You start
right,
to see how reality is conforming to you because you hold the purse strings. But on top of that, because you hold the purse strings, there is a very high level that is demanded of you to see reality, to be responsible with the purse strings.
right,
And so, because when we and this is like what I've been basically like having to mentor myself about is being the emperor. Like, in being the emperor, I can't be using my powers to go after others just because I'm powerful.
right,
And so I had to manage, not that I would ever do that, but like I guess it's, as we truly step into our power and our positions that we have in the empire, like, it demands us to see reality basically from the point of view of a god.
right,
And so if we are playing and moving as a god, what does that mean for us? How do I function as a god in this reality? Like, and initially for me, I that's why I was playing it so safe,
right,
because I was not trying to let's say, like, go after Trump just because, oh, I don't like him or this or that. Like, as the emperor, I have to put certain interests, aka in this case, God's will above all else. But what does
right,
that even really look like?
right, right,
And I
right,
think that's the initiation that we have been going through, and we will go through even more intensely as we get into these positions. Because as the banker, like, uh the emotions have to be managed to a point that it's basically it's perfected, where because sometimes the loans that you give out might not be favorable financially, but they are the seeds that grow to be the most valuable ones of the empire.
right,
And then other times, there are loans that are extremely favorable financially to the empire, but are not in alignment.
right,
They're just not going to work out.
right,
And so, because what's going to happen is very similar to like Bill Gates, all these billionaires are going to start diverting towards you, the banker, and it's going to be very interesting to see how you manage that. Right? In
Right.
terms of, are you going to be upset at them? Are you going to be happy about them? Like, how are you going to manage these people that did so much harm to your people when they now are on their knees to basically, serving you? Basically,
Yikes.
like begging for salvation. How are you going to deal with that?
Yikes. I mean, the same way I dealt with you. No, the same way I dealt with the enemy. It's like, listen, everybody, if either I believe I'm here to serve at the pleasure of the creator or I believe I'm the creator. If as long as I'm not the creator, I know that the goal of the creator is for everyone to return back to him. And so whatever he wants is
Nice. Yep.
is is what he wants. Like I don't have to get involved in that. All I have to do is, hey, these are the terms. I'm giving you the terms, the conditions of the deal, and that's all I can do. Like this is the
Right,
best
right.
terms that I
Uh-huh.
can give you. I can't give you no better terms than that. And they're like, oh well, we want that. No, 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 no. These are the terms right here. Like this is what I expect. And if you don't do
Mhm.
this, then there's no deal. Like, and there's just no deal. I'm sorry. Like these are the terms, and the terms have to be fair. The
Yeah,
terms
and it's
have to be
karmic, and it's
reasonable,
and it's karmic. It's
and it's karmic.
it's all karmic, and
Right,
yes, as you said, is and these very powerful people, because they are powerful. I mean, there's a reason why they became,
right,
and it's not just billionaires. It's just very powerful individuals that benefited significantly from the old system are going to come to you, thinking that they could, what's it called, slang their dick, and you're just going to let them in. Right? That you're just gonna be like, okay, you can pass through this and that, or that. So in as you said, in you are receiving the terms from God that are going to be given to these people.
right.
And
And it's going to be across the board. It's not, there's no special deals. There's no, buy one, get one free. It don't work. It just doesn't work like that. Like the
mm,
way you came in is the way you have to leave, but in reverse. That's literally what I mean, it's not like it's even a secret. It's just, that's why I'm saying like this whole thing with Gates, okay, he did not enter the arena as a politician. He entered the arena as an inventor. So the only way he gets out is through some kind of
mm,
invention. Like you
right,
don't get to
right.
leave out as a politician when you came in as an inventor. That's not fair.
I
That's
think
not
he's I
fair.
think he's going to do nuclear power, nuclear energy.
He could. It's lots of things that, listen, they've stolen so much technology. They have to give it back, but it has
Right,
to be for
right.
free. Like you can, a freaking, what is his computer? Microsoft used to be functional. It used to be the best computer you can get. How about you just give us the best computers we can get? That's what I would like. Like
Right.
how what remember, well, you might be too young, but these have Windows phones with the keypads, not Blackberries. Windows phones. Those was the best phones. Like I had one
Mm,
of those. Like where's the good technology? Like you can't give us, like, climate change was the scapegoat. We don't want climate change. What we really want is good technology that works. Clean, not demon possessed, healthy, like that. I tag you in that minimal phone thing. Like we need stuff like that. Like it's like, where's that stuff? Like, why you keep giving us crap that's designed for propaganda when we really need stuff that works? I would love to have a computer that works. Like, just works. I can work on it myself. I don't have to take it to somebody to do all this stuff because y'all have made everything so complex. How about an iPhone with a headphone jack? Like these are simple things like they could do to make our lives easier, and yet they made our lives harder. So these are the kind of, like, as far as from the tech bros, these are the kind of things I expect. Like I want a car that I can work on. Like I want a car where I can use this guy's device to produce my own like diesel. And people do
mm.
you know that people used to have diesel, like gas pumps in their front yard along with the water? They pumped gas like
No,
right from their front
wow.
yard. Yeah. Yeah, they used to have like gas pumps. So you didn't go and buy gas from somebody else. You had a pump in your yard, and maybe you had a little station there with some snacks and stuff that you sold. Like, this is how America, this is why I always say America used to be a fully functioning, like, proper country. And it wasn't when these Goldilocks Americans got here. That's when everything started to fall apart. I'm talking about like 1870, like right after the end of the Civil War, but before the 1900s, when they started bringing in all these foreigners to try to replace the black people. Like, that time period really is like the closest thing we have to a golden age. Madam C.J. Walker, who was a millionaire off hair products, which is a whole nother issue, she had an electric car that she packed up and took with her when she went to like the Bahamas. Like, this is we should be able to have a car I can pack up and take with me when I go overseas. Like, these are the kind of things people had. Why can't we have this stuff now? It
Well,
would
you're
be
the
simple.
banker. You're the
Well,
banker.
hey,
So
well, yeah.
so so I think um so one is understanding, like, beginning to start thinking about, for example, as it could be an example could be Bill Gates. What are the terms that you as the banker would give someone like Bill Gates? And then beyond that also is all these ideas that you're talking about basically, like, because I mean, what does a bank do? A bank in many ways could say, well, this is what I'm looking for, guys. You tell the
Right,
market, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking
right,
for this type of car. I'm looking for this type of technology. If
right.
you
That's what they
provide me
do.
if you provide me with these types of things, I will give you credit. I'll give you
Right,
loans. You know, I'll give you
right,
I'll give you energy. And so
right,
and this is where, now it's beginning to start thinking about the infrastructure and the system and the contracts and the paperwork by which the banker is going to function, because it's it's obviously a banking, like, it is tied to the banker, but as you could see, like, this is like next level type banking. Because what you're essentially doing now is inputting this list of priorities of what the bank is supporting, very similar to when the US government wants to support climate change. Well, yeah, it'll throw billions of dollars a year into the NGOs and into whatever clean tech and air power and solar
right,
power and all of that. Now, you as the banker, you have that same power and more, because you have
right,
more power energetically than what any of this money. The money cannot do what you have the ability to do energetically.
right,
So, how do we then build that bridge into reality? Because you're going to basically everything you put out is going to come to fruition. And
right,
and initially, at least, a lot of these people are not they're not going to come to you and say, "Hey, like, this is the company that I'm that I built, like, can I get credit?" No, what you're essentially doing is you are putting out the narrative, putting out the bid, and whoever takes it and makes it happen, they get the credit.
right,
So it's not necessarily that you even have to interface with the person that gets the credit. It's all just automatic.
right,
If they fulfill these terms for this specific idea or this specific way of living, being, whatever it might be that is listed out by the banker, they get the credit. So
right.
if here I am on the
I mean,
other.
that's what I've already been doing. So this is literally what I've been doing with these spirits. Like, I don't care who gets me X, Y, and Z. Whoever does it is the one who
Mm,
gets. So I've already been doing this,
beautiful,
but
nice.
applying that strategy to this, what it is we want this planet, this country to look like, is
Yes, right.
definitely like the next piece of that. Because it's really going backwards. Like, this is how I came into this window. I started doing all this paperwork stuff because I wanted the government to function the way that it was supposed to. Like, I knew how it was supposed to
Mm,
function. I wanted it to go back to that.
wow.
So I put my energy into this paperwork process and learning all this stuff because I knew the way the government was functioning was not correct. And I had heard
Mm,
enough bits and pieces about different parts of this paperwork to know for a fact that that was true. So then I went about putting it all together in basically like one course of explaining the different parts, but I put it all together so that people could when they stumble across the information, they would be able to understand how all these different little intricate parts like work together. So I'm gonna share those videos because I already made this. I did this last year, so this is basically done. Like, this is basically done. Like, there's no really, like, it's not gonna be a lot for me to think about because it's already done. I've already set
Yeah,
up the structure.
beautiful. Yeah, and I mean that's why you're the banker.
Right.
You've been preparing for such a
Huh.
prestigious position for
Huh.
so long. And I mean it's beautiful how things are aligning,
Right.
because to be the banker is really like you got to be in many ways a jack of all trades, especially to be the banker of the Holy
Right.
Imperium. Like that's because we're doing so much. There's so much
Right.
that is being done. And so as we get more clear on like the process and how it works, and obviously I mean as you said, like you've already done it, so that's makes it even easier. But like as it's like, as reality is understands what are the responsibilities of the banker, who is the banker, how much energy or assets does the banker have, and what are the priorities of the bank,
Right.
and all this type of stuff. And I think maybe even what is it, what do banks have? They have like a decree, or they have some sort of like
Charter.
code, like a charter, yeah.
Mm.
So once this is all delineated, then it's just off to the races. Just start making it rain. Just making it rain. Just
Hmm.
making it rain. And of course, like and this is where um it and I think this probably definitely is going to happen in the next 3 months or so. Like this is where uh like very soon, and I don't know how it shows up, because obviously like this is all just happening as it happens,
Right.
is and I mean I've been saying this basically almost from the beginning, is the priority is to get you basically working on this on the Holy Imperium full time, which
Right.
the focus is obviously financially, paper money wise, being able to provide that for you, so that not only you are well taken care of, but then also we can hire people to support you.
Right. Because
and
it's a
and
lot
we've
of work.
talked, yeah,
Yeah.
and we talked about this I think a few spaces ago, obviously, in terms of, I think it was like something about managing the economy, like that I was thinking about the economics of the empire. So
Right.
that's the priority, like that right now the priority is figuring out the economics of what it is that we're doing. And well, obviously to figure out the economics, well, we need a bank.
Right.
We need that has to be the first
Right.
thing. Once we have the bank, then we could really start to build out the economics, which is what we're talking about in terms of the technologies that we're going to manifest,
Right.
the specific companies that we're going to support, or the specific like products, whatever it might be. I mean, as you
Right.
were saying with something like the hair products, right? A shit show, an
Right.
absolute shit show. Well, you
Right.
as the banker, you're going to know and have the people to do the research to know what is in alignment, to
Right.
to know this is what we're supporting. Maybe you find a few businesses just like the streamers that you like. Okay, these are the ones that we're already going to give credit for. There's still these open slots for those that can have an opportunity to have credit. And so I mean this is eventually, you're going to have a website where it's literally like a bulletin, like
Jesus.
an energetic bulletin of
Lord.
of the priorities for the Holy Imperium. And
Good
people can
gracious.
can energetically in many ways just bid on it, in terms of
Right.
like you put um coconut oil hair treatment for X, Y, and Z. Boom,
Right.
it's sent out. It gets
Everybody gets the emails.
yep.
They go to the people and they shop, and yeah, just yeah, that's wow. That's exactly what I was thinking of. But this was not the direction I thought it was coming from. I can tell you that much.
So this is why the priority, as I've said before, is making sure that you are getting well taken care of, which we're getting there. It's
Right.
taken some time, but like I feel it's coming.
Right.
But notice like it's clearer than ever in terms of
Yes.
the both the vital importance that you are to the empire, but also like how much work is necessary to at least just set it up. On top
Right.
of the fact that we're not even talking about actually running it, because that's a whole different uh, thing. But so in us putting this out there, and us like becoming clearer about what it is that we are doing, because if the money had arrived, let's say a month ago, we weren't ready. Like
No.
we didn't have we would have been doing the calendar, or we would have been focused on like prediction markets, or we would have been
Right.
focused on this or that. Like it everything is playing out exactly as it's supposed to play out, and the pressures are being put on us both collectively as well as individually to move us to be in alignment to what is about to take place. And
Right.
I think this specific spaces was one of the landmarks, because we received a ton of clarity,
Right.
in terms of, wow, I could actually see the physical structure of the empire now.
Right, right, right. You know, they always leave talk about the banker out in the Bible. So I have to think that's another, like, usually I can immediately think of a reference to this, but the only reference is like Judas. He held the bank, but there's got to be, so it must be coded in a different way. So I also now have to do some more research on how this is how this plays out in the scripture, because that will give us a lot more clarity on what the structure looks like. Because I did what, two or three spaces on the priest and the king and all of that, never mentioned a banker, wasn't even thinking about a banker.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So
We
like,
just passed.
where
We
is this
passed
in
by
there?
it.
Yeah, where did this come from? Like, what does this? Why is this piece really not as iconic and forward as the priest? Everyone knows about the priest. When were they asking for a banker? Like, this is another level of inquiry. It's probably not in the Bible, but in some other pantheon.
I think so,
Um,
because I mean, if it was in the Bible, like the thing is, it's the purse strings, because
right,
they could have their, like, the people can get their own king, the people can get
right,
their own priest, but who has the purse strings? At the end of the day, the one that has the money has the power.
right,
So of course, with the way the system has been developing or developed, the people that have the money said, no, we're not going to let the money talk be in the Bible. We're not going to let it, like,
right.
just like, we're going to hide it or basically disappear it completely, make everyone focus on the kings and the priests while we stay managing the money. We stay managing the purse strings.
Oh boy, we done brought
So
them
they're like,
out
don't
of
look
this.
over here.
Yeah, don't look
Don't
at
look over
this.
here.
Like, wait a second, wait a minute. The king didn't manage his own money. I mean, the king didn't manage his own money. He just didn't.
I mean,
Wow.
the whole breakdown of this society, of this reality, was because the banking position was taken over by the money lenders, the
Right,
Jews.
yeah, these wicked people who were
Yeah,
taking
so
everything.
right, and so, like, that's really in many ways the source of the disruption is the banking system, the
Right.
bankers. And so now, as the I mean, what are the odds that the banker is going to be a black woman?
Zero
like
point
like
zero
it's
zero.
just
What
like
is the
like
odd? I mean,
who would have thought?
what is the odds of me studying this the way that I have been for 3 full years? Not 1 year, not 2 years, three full. I know things about the banking system in general that if I try to explain them to you, you would have nowhere to put the information. I mean, absolutely nowhere. I
Yeah, and I don't, and the funny thing is, I don't want to know any of
yeah, I
that.
would. I'm not gonna
That's because
bore you.
that's well, I mean, of course, no, I mean, I do, but I get my point in that is that, like, the details of the finances for me in many ways, like, freak me out. It's like
Oh,
it's like I'm focused on on the empire,
right.
on making sure that we have enough money coming in to fund whatever operations and campaigns we're doing, but, like, to f- to like to manage the money, like that's a whole headache on it and of itself. I got the empire to figure
Right,
out,
right, right.
right? So like,
That's
and
funny.
same with the banker, right? The banker is focused on the financial um management of the whole empire. The banker's not focused on, where the empire's going and are you doing the right thing. Like, everyone has to be focused on what they are uh um being essentially, I guess, provided or led to do.
Right,
And so it for me, it never, the economic side of the Holy Imperium, and specifically the hyper structure, like, I could see it, but it never really materialized or made sense for me, because I knew that I was not the one.
right,
I was not the one that was going to, like, run this. I was not the one. Like, I already had too much on my fucking plate to then try to be like the banker, to try to be
right,
the one that was, managing the money and here, there. Like, would it be nice for me to manage the money? I guess, but like, not even.
right. No,
That's not my thing.
no.
It's never been my thing. That's the thing.
Mm,
Whenever I have money, I give it away.
right,
I'm just generously, like, if someone else can eat and I have to not eat that night, I'm gonna give away the money.
right.
That's, in many ways, that's
Not
not what a
really.
banker does.
No, the banker can't do that. The banker has to
Yeah,
eat
right.
every night, you know.
So that's why
It's
I'm like,
important.
that's not
The king can
I
sip a
mean, it's
meal,
just,
but the banker
it's
cannot.
it
Because you can't make
yeah,
good
it's very.
decisions when you're hungry. That's the long and the short of it. You just can't make good decisions when you're hungry.
Yeah, well, and as you could see, like, I have a tendency to be like overly nice, overly generous, which is being balanced out now with the dark side. But um, like, it's like, I give away the money. I give away the
Right,
money, and when we have, trillions upon trillions of dollars, like, in the in the in the vaults of the empire, like, we got to be very meticulous, we got to be very structured, we got to be very,
right,
and that's you.
right.
And of course, as you said, I think you said, like, the women run the show, the women
Yeah,
are
the women
behind
are
the scenes,
always
like,
like bankroll.
right next to the, yeah, the women are the ones that run the show, but not always are at the forefront.
Right,
Although, obviously, in this Holy Imperium, I do really want the women to be at the forefront.
right,
I don't want them to be hidden or lost to history.
right,
It's very important to put women out there and really show how, and I mean, that's the whole, I mean, that was the reason that the Holy Empire got to where it is because of the alliance that it formed with the sacred divine feminine. With,
right,
because I knew, without having an alliance with the sacred divine feminine, which is an energy but obviously represents women, we wouldn't be nothing.
right,
I wouldn't have anything.
right.
So what are the odds then that, like, the one that holds the most important position, arguably, but I would say definitely the most important position in the empire, is a woman?
Makes sense to me, I guess. I mean, this is shocking. Shocking.
Hey, Justin.
Hi, sir. Give me one moment, please.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, this is very interesting, and just this whole, like, the way that this is rolling out, it definitely feels like buying time. Like things have it's like things were moving really really fast, and then they started to just kind of be slow walked, trying to wait for this perfect, like, something that's supposed to be happening. So let's see. Today's the 28th. Today's the 27th. No, today's the 28th. Well, yesterday on the 27th, Jupiter was trine Mercury. Today, Jupiter is trine Mars, and tomorrow, Mercury is trine Neptune. And then on the 30th, when this is the day the doors were shut, Uranus is conjunct Sedna, which is it's been conjunct Sedna for a long time, except Uranus moved back into Gemini, and Sedna is Uranus moved back into Taurus and Sedna's in Gemini, but these things are also conjunct Mercury. Or no, opposite. I'm sorry. Opposite Mercury at 0 degrees of Sagittarius. And also Mars is trine Neptune. That's on the 30th. So I'm assuming and then we have a full moon. The full moon? Scorpio. No, we have a world point coming up on the 1st. So I feel like it was moving fast to make sure we had all the stuff, all the relevant pieces, and now it's just like, okay, now we have to check boxes. Like, do they have this part? Do they have that part? Do they understand this? Because it must be when we hit that world point on Saturday, that it's going to be something else. That's the 1st and All Saints Day.
Oh yeah, the 1st.
Yeah. Wow. This is. You ready, Justin? Not yet.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
go
Yes,
ahead.
ma'am. All right. How are you guys doing today?
So far, so good.
That's great. I'm just I just put on my shoes, started going on a walk. It's pretty chilly out here. Not too bad though. It feels nice. But
Nice. Those are good walks. Definitely a night.
So you don't have nothing specific? Because otherwise, I need to go to bed. I have to get up in like 5 hours. He must have checked out. Yeah, I have to get up in like 5 hours. So
Okay, yeah, sounds. I think this was good.
I might need to go to bed.
I'll be around, Justin, if you want to talk about something. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. I mean, every time I keep saying it's exciting, I feel like I'm a broken record, but
No,
like
this is
it keeps
really
getting even
exciting.
more exciting.
No,
Like it
this
keeps.
is really
And the funny thing
exciting.
is, no one knows about us. Like
No.
no one listens to us. No one listens. Like the spaces. Like how many people do you think are actually in tune with the conversations that we've had? Maybe like 5,
Right.
if that.
If
and
that.
that's being very
I
generous.
think
So
so too.
nobody knows what is happening
Nope.
and what we are doing and what we're about to do. And yet it's almost like everyone knows,
Right.
which is kind of spooky.
Right. They know it's something, but they just don't know what it is, and they think it's aliens. No, it's not. It's only spooky because they think it's the aliens. Oh, it's the aliens. They're going to come and communicate a message, and it's like, no, we're the aliens. Actually, if you just listen to us, they're just going to repeat what we said, and maybe you'll believe them. But it's going to be the same message for real. It's going to be absolutely the same message. So,
So yeah, thank you so much for your support and everything that you do,
absolutely.
and definitely very look forward to everything developing as it's developing in divine timing. So thank you so much.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great night.